Hi guys, if you watched my TikTok this morning, you saw my daily bias going in the day, but we're going to cover this a little more in depth here on the YouTube. So let's get just straight into it. I don't want to take up any of your time this morning. Time is money, baby. So get into it. Let me move myself over here. Here's the proof. Here's the copy trader where I trade across all my fundeds. I just took a trade or a payout on 10 of my Apex accounts. That's why I only have 10 here. But besides that, everything is running smoothly. Let me close this. And then here's Top Step, where I entered and then took profits just for proof, and that's across 4. That's on top of what I just showed you on the trade copiers. So let's get into the markets here. Let me make myself a little smaller. So what was I thinking this morning? Well, let me show you. So let's go to the 5-minute. What I always like to do, remove drawings. And let's just look at price. Mark out 930. Mark out 950 macro, 930, 950. So if you go to the 4-hour, ES had this low, which was definitely something to look at, right? You go to the weekly, this was the low I was really targeting today. And even on ES, that's a target. So honestly, we could have probably targeted all the way down here on NQ, but that's massive. But so what? So now that we have like our bias, now that we have our goal, my goal was these weekly lows here, these July weekly lows, like the month of July lows, basically, right? And if you look at price, you go to like the 1-hour, we were just flushing down on both indices, right? We're just pushing down. And this is market open, we were still like here. This was before market open. So ideally, I wanted this 15-minute to get filled. This was a couple options that I had to take shorts. I was going to wait for either this 15-minute and like this high to get swept out. Like I wanted price to come up and then flush down, right? Or I was okay with this high too of this leg. Like if you mark out this leg, as you can see, we came up, equilibrium, swept these highs, and then started displacing. So that was a good sign. But what makes this even better is ES never took out those highs. SMT divergence. Normally with SMTs, most people take their trades on the leading index, but I just take all my trades on NQ. I don't trade ES, and that has improved my win rate personally. But just do whatever you prefer. Trade both, do whatever. So then I had these marked out. Confluence. But we flushed right through. As soon as market opened, we just dumped down, which I was like, dang, like we formed that SMT as soon as market opens. A market open SMT and then dump down. I was like, dang, that's unfortunate. I was like, oh, price is about to just rip to my TP. We were like here below this low. Like we took out these lows and we were just pumping down. I was like, well, I'm not going to get to trade today. But I did mark out this 5-minute and then also this as well, right? And so we get tapped into equilibrium. And in here, that's what I entered off. Purely as soon as we tapped back into that lower 5-minute that we inverse, that was my entry point. And then I set my stops. I actually set them right here. And then TP was here. And as you can see, perfectly played out. It literally just came up a little more and then dumped. But what I will say, even though this is actually still a better entry, the other best entry would have been waiting for this fair value gap right here to get inverse. And I bet you a lot of y'all took that trade right here. And you'd have to put stops. I mean, realistically, you'd put stops all the way up there. But with that trade, you're catching a 1.5. But with this trade here, I was catching a 2R. But I mean, still, this is still an amazing 1-to-1. And if I don't know how you take trades, you could also, I guess, put it above that inverse. But I like putting it at 1 minute highs because, as you can see, if I put it off this inverse, like I entered here, and I'm like, it's not going to break this, I would have got stopped out. So that is the trade I ended up taking today. The whole reason was the reason that this trade was valid and actually ended up playing out is because that was the play of the day. That was the draw on liquidity. Like I've been saying in all my trade recaps, the biggest thing that has caused me to win the most is draw on liquidity. Like we were market open here, like especially once we came down here, like we're 113 points away. And as of recent, 113 points is normally like a normal move. But the other area I wanted, like if I wanted to take longs off, if I thought this was going longer, I bet you a lot of people lost on this trade right here today. They saw this and probably just longed off that. Or they waited for the retap and longed off this. And they were targeting this high and then probably all the way up in here. And then probably also all the way up to like London high or something. But like, look, I mean, that's 100 points too. But this is just a 15-minute fair value gap. This down here is a week low that we have not been since July. You know how much more confluence that has. You know how much more like it literally is a magnet. That is a magnet for price. Having the right draw on liquidity will cause you to literally like study draw on liquidity, study what market wants to take out and what's actually reasonable. And then also another reason for this trade being so good, it's a Friday. Like we're already down so much. We're so close to this low. I don't think we want to retrace until we take this low out because we're probably not going to come back down here. Probably just going to rip up now to all-time highs, depending on how obviously the war goes. But like we were already pushed so deep. We already had a retrace, and we're already pushing down. So like best case scenario, you're looking for like a 5-minute or 15-minute sweep, which that was a 15-minute high. Swept it. SMT. It's about as good as it gets before going lower. And that's why I was willing to take that trade. And yeah, I'm glad I didn't FOMO in once we broke these lows and would have had an absolute atrocious stop. Like if I entered off, like see, this is why I don't enter early. If I entered off here after that last 5-minute got inversed and put my stops all the way up here. I mean, it's a 1 to 1.2, but it's an 82 point stop. That is absolutely massive. I'd be entering with like 2 micros. But overall, I'm really happy with this trade. It ended up playing out pretty beautifully. Like as soon as this started dumping, I basically hit TP instantly. There wasn't a single bullish candle this whole move to that, and then it started going up, which is absolutely textbook. So, guys, study draw liquidity, study where price actually wants to target, and study what, like when you're looking for a trade, you need to figure out what price needs to do before you're willing to take that trade. What does price need to tap into? What does price need to manipulate into? What does it need to do to make your trade valid and to make it actually have like actual have success rate, like actually have some kind of like narrative behind it. It needs to have narrative, otherwise it's a terrible trade. Y'all have a good one. Continue to get better, continue to grow in your trading, continue to work hard, and you can succeed at this. I am not special. I am not special at all. All I did was put in the work for 3 years, and now I'm here because of the work that I put in. And all glory to God who gave me the ability to be here. And I just pray that y'all continue to work, continue to get after it, and continue to follow God with all your eyes, with all your heart, and all your mind, and all your soul. So y'all have a blessed one. I'll see you.